Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you, the organizers, for this really, really amazing festival. Thank you for everyone to be here, all the volunteers to help. It's just amazing. It's all together, it's amazing. I'm going to tell you what I learned in the last years through slacklinings. Jerry asked me for dog training tricks, but it's going to be for tomorrow. So a few words about myself, I have to. Although I was born next to the mountains, I have never been to the mountains really seriously before I got to 20 years old. I was more into dog training with my dogs and a bit of juggling and a bit of normal skiing like all French and Swiss people are doing. Yes, I'm French and Swiss. In 2011, I started to discover climbing, slacklining, ski touring, everything all together. So I got from a really normal life to a really sporty life. It was really hard for me in the beginning. I thought I could not do it. I thought I was not sporty and everything was hard. But I enjoyed it so much that I put a lot of effort, and step by step it was coming. I could finally reach the top of the mountain without being too red. And this year now I'm doing a road trip around Europe, but this is another story. Oh. I got it now. So what about slacklining now? So for 5 years now, I had a lot of fun in the beginning. I still have, but from the beginning I had a lot of fun. I really, really loved it. It was like a dream becoming true. I improved a lot. Maybe I improved a bit too fast, and then I felt a lot of pressure on my shoulders. I could feel that I was able to do much more than what I was actually doing, and I couldn't work out why was this happening. I was always focusing on sending the lines, and after I was getting really stressed on the line, as I said on the video, and after one catch, all the pressure fell off and I could walk properly. So also, as I said, had this pressure of boys that I could feel on my shoulders. So this became an obstacle to me. I realized that I got distressed also because of expectations. I think this also happens in climbing. Before going into a route, you just look at the level on the book. Okay, this is 6A, I should be able to make it on site. This is 6B, I should be able to make it maybe one break, not more. This is 6C, I should be able to get it to the top. Something like this. I think we are doing the same with slacklining, or at least I was doing. Okay, this is 20 meters, I should be able to work it on site. This is 40, I should be able to make it in a few catch, and blah, 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 so on. And I think all those expectations, those anticipations, can get you into disappointment if the reality is different than what you actually expected. So I had some experiences, like for example, I sent my home line in the snow, it was really cold, I had fancy dresses, it was really hard, but I sent it, I was really happy, and 2 years later I couldn't even make a step on it. And I couldn't understand, why is this performance going down? I thought that when you are doing something, it will never be different in another day. I thought that everything was like given. So I made some observation on this. I looked at me, I looked at other people, and I found out that all what I was doing, expectation, judgment, comparison, didn't bring me to anywhere. And I also understood that maybe those things that we are doing depend a lot on our background. So if I take the example of someone who is doing, let's say, skate freestyle, for him or for her, falling is like you are brave, you are eating the concrete, you are so good, you are training and trying all the time. Whereas, for example, when you go on a normal ski station and you fall, then the fall is something like you are ashamed, you're just checking that no one saw you, and the make turn, you have to make them really beautiful. So actually, I understood that the meaning we are putting in this fall change not the reality, but the consequence of the reality. Because the skateboarder has fallen, so he's so brave that he will start again. Whereas the skier Whereas the skier is so ashamed that he has to be really careful on the next turns. So I understood that maybe we should change the meaning that we are putting into falling. If you don't understand, tell me. Nathan said I had a French accent. So I decided to change some things. I will tell you about 3 things I tried to change. I decided to enjoy more and not focus on the performance anymore, and to take always the advantage of what was happening. So, for example, in falling, maybe if you in climbing, if you send a route on site, it's right, but actually what did you learn? And if you struggle and do 50 times the same move, maybe you learn more actually, or different things than if you just send it on site. So I try to always take the advantage of what was happening. If I'm struggling, more I'm learning. And this is what I want, right? I want to learn. I don't want to just succeed and everything is easy. I also focused on having less judgment, or if possible, no judgment at all. Not blaming myself, and this is things, it sounds really stupid, really easy, but how many times did I hear the last days people saying, oh, I'm not good, I didn't manage, I'm so bad at highlining. But what are those words for? It doesn't bring you anywhere to say something bad about yourself. It's so easy, but actually your body, all your body is feeling, is listening to it. And we should, I think, never blame ourselves. There is no reason for it. It doesn't bring us to anywhere. So I try to stop to blame myself and to have negative thoughts, and just transform it into positive thoughts, and just focusing more on what was positive, what I did, and stuff like this. I think it brings more respect to ourselves personally and the other around also. The last thing I want to say that I changed is I focused much more on what makes me happy in highlining. I understood that performing, succeeding, sending a line is just a small amount of what is slacklining. And I realized that I really loved to walk online. I developed the feelings of walking the line. I realized that when I was walking, for example, my eyes were more open. I could see almost behind me. I could see all around me. I could see down. I could see up, the birds. And I discovered some new feelings that I never had before. And I focused more on these feelings, and I tried to develop them. I developed also the love of rigging, of going to exploration, to adventure. You don't know where you're going. It starts to rain. You forgot your line grip, so you have to find another solution. You're going with your friends. You eat pasta all the time. You all know about this. And I focused much more on those things that are so great, and this is why we are slacklining. And of course, the love of community, of friends, going with the friends, the fact that we all love the same things and we are all sharing. And in the world today, I think it's so important to connect together. So I continue developing those feelings of feeling on the line, but also before, after, all the time. So in the end, I would say that to me, what is important now is that I want to focus that the meaning I am putting into things is not the reality, but yes, it has an impact on the reality. So if I change the meaning that I am putting on something, I am going to change not the reality, but the future, the consequences of the reality. And I hope you understand what I mean. So in 2 words, maybe less intention, not being anticipate, I want to send this line, I want to do this, but more accepting what's happening and doing the most of what is happening now is what I definitely learned in the last years. In conclusion, I try to give up expectations, to accept more with less judgment, and to focus more on the beauty. As I said, this was my problem, was pressure, but maybe for you it's something different. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's height, maybe it's body technical limits. but I think it's a general things that could apply to anything. For me, it was pressure because I'm not so scared of height, but maybe for you it's different. And in the end, I would like to say that I think we get much more reward, not from the performance, but for the improvement and the process that we are doing. Tell me what you think, please. I would love feedbacks. Thank you so much. Giving a speech is much more scary than highlining.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
How did you start having all those thoughts about how you deal with this stress that you have?
How I start to have all those thoughts? How I start to have all those thoughts, I think by speaking to people, to other slackliners, I get very inspired. For example, the story of my homeline that I sent, and 2 days later I couldn't even make 3 steps. I was really angry about it, and one of my friends who was slacklining for longer than me in Geneva, maybe you know about her, she's an old school slackliner called Chrislene, and she said, but that's not what slacklining is about, and it's like this, every day it changes. It's not because today you are performing that tomorrow you will be, it's like this. And yeah, then I started to talk more with people and to understand more. And I think, I got inspired by people. By you all.
Go ahead, any questions? Scream louder.
Are the dogs planning to slackline?
I don't want to put my dogs on slacklining, although YouTube likes it, because I think it's very dangerous for the dog. I have tried with my dog, and and definitely I don't like it so much. Not for my dog. Thank you, Jill. Very important questions. Always the dog first.
Can you cooking?
Okay. My boyfriend is cooking much better than me. But I can. I can eat. Any other questions? Except dogs and cooking? Or who knows?
My question is, what is the next thing for you, and do you think will be there a moment when you realize it's not about performing, it's not about something, I'm just had enough of slacklining, and do you think will be that this moment, will it be in your life, and you say like, okay, I did enough slacklining, I want to move on to something else, slacklining is cool, and if there is a moment, what will be the next thing? Thank you.
Thanks for your question. Yes, definitely. I think this could absolutely happen. Before slacklining, I was a lot into dogs training, and I learned a lot. And then I decided to move to slacklining and mountaineering. And at the moment, I'm still into slacklining, of course. But I discovered also yoga and more mountaineering. And I'm not looking for long lines anymore, I think. I'm much more interested in going to hard projects in the mountains with more climbing, skiing. I really want to go like on expeditions and stuff like this. And more yoga and meditation also definitely is. Thank you very much. I think we should move to the next presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Big applause, please.